everybody acts casual.
Look at how beautiful it is. I'll get out of the way.
It really is an incredible mountain.
Straight line it when it's clear.
Aha! I bet you this is what's smoking. What's up, people? Well, today we are in the Jebel Jay Mountains. So we're in the United Arab Emirates right now. We are outside of Dubai, we've gone northeast, and Oman is, I think, that way somewhere. And all I know is there's an amazing place to get lunch at about 1:30. So we've got, what, 45 minutes to rip up there, and look at these beautiful cars that totally exist. Yeah, so the Lykan and the Fenrir are awesome. The Lykan is brutal and just so much visceral personality, and the Fenrir is very sophisticated and exciting. So this is really just gonna be great. And the only other thing I wanna show you is, come here and look at this. So we're at the side of the road, just like you would in the American Southwest or Texas or California or something, and you missed it. Now it's a nice little restaurant. But a minute ago, there were a bunch of Harley Davidsons there and a bunch of dudes that have been ripping through from Saudi Arabia on Harleys. So I met them and they were all really cool. They're smoking cigars and they're like, "You want to see my powder glad?" Yes. And I'm like, from the United States, this is home to me. So it was pretty cool. Anyway, let's go drive. Good? Yes. Perfect, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have to admit, it's strange driving a car with 3 pedals and a synchro mesh sequential.
Yeah.
Yeah, you expect it to be a dog box, and then it will do flat shift and whatnot, and I have to tell myself, wait, no, it's not that way. This is amazing. It reminds me of the American Southwest in a lot of ways, in some parts of California, but obviously different. So then for being an American and over in these mountains for the first time, not to sound maybe trite or silly in a way, but it, you know, it reminds you of biblical lands.
Yeah.
All right, people, so we are in the Lykan Hypersport, driving through the Jebel Jay Mountains. I think we're on our way to Oman, but at the very least, a very nice lunch. We're following the Fenrir and just cruising around like I would Cars and Coffee, or buddies driving through the Ohio countryside or our hills and whatnot. So just a fun day out with car people. But I've got somebody special here. Would you be so kind as to introduce yourself and say, what is your position? What do you do with W Motors? Why are you here?
So my name is Oliver James Webb. I'm an ambassador for W Motors. So fairly recently, actually, this is only my 2nd time in the Lykan. So I'm excited to be in it with yourself. Most of the driving I've done has been on track with the Fenrir, so we're going to be doing that a bit later as well.
Oh, so being in the Lykan is relatively new for you as well?
It is, yeah. So you can tell me how it is.
Fair enough. I like it quite a lot. It's I mentioned to you, the thing that's fascinating on this is we've got a sequentially shifted synchro mesh gearbox with 3 pedals, which is unusual to me because usually if I get something with sequential shift, it's a dog engagement box, and you don't necessarily need to use the clutch when you're shifting. So it's fascinating, but it makes it fun.
It does, and you get it and you see the gear stick and you think, well, something does it. I don't care. Do I either need to not use that or not use that pedal? Which one?
Right. So I have to consciously think about it. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this mic back on and just drive a little. How about that? And right now I see how nervous we make me driving with my knee on the twisty mountains roads in the Arab Emirates with a lot of pointy rocks. I've been minding the gauges. I've kind of just started looking at the number of the tack. I'm not sure if it has a bar or a sweep relating to the RPM sweep. So we're lowering the RPMs. We're under 3,000. I was kind of just rolling in and seeing how it goes most low. Yeah, let's not hit a goat.
There's plenty of them to hit.
I don't think the Camels wanted this way. It's too rocky, I imagine, right?
Yeah. You don't see many of them. You see plenty of mountain goats, but that's about it.
Right.
So soon it goes to 3 lanes, and then eventually it goes to 4.
I see.
Some are blind, some are open.
Right. Well, this is quite a lot like driving mountains in California or the hills, even in southern eastern Ohio and whatnot. So just be mindful, and it is a bit dusty. The other thing about this, if I were going to be driving this in anger a lot more, or it was my car, I think I would adjust the relation of the throttle pedal to the brake pedal, because you have to lift your foot quite a long way to get to the brake pedal.
Yeah.
And then to toe heel blip on downshifts is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
So I just want to be mindful of that on the downshifts and not throw it in too much and then realize the brake pedal's higher than I expected it. Have you ever put one off in the grass or the sand trap because something like that, the pedals weren't quite what you expected?
On a track or here specifically?
Track.
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened on a track before in some classics. I'm trying to think, maybe probably like Silverstone. It tends to be a track where you know you've got run off and then I can get away with pushing it a bit.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, exactly.
We're blessed with barriers actually now. The first few years I came here, there was nothing, just edges.
Oh, that's a good point. With the Jersey barriers there, it's a fairly long drop.
Yeah.
And rather unforgiving looking terrain. You know, this is absolutely one of the most amazing roads I've ever been on, and it wants to lure you into a place that your conservation of machinery says not to go just yet. And I also could probably stop from just being a tourist. Stop looking around, Casey. There's goats in Ohio. Wow. This really is an incredible mountain. And you've driven this a lot before, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, over the past 6 or 7 years. So it used to be, the original road idea was going to be up to one of the Sheikh's houses.
Oh, I
it was
see.
basically going to be the world's longest driveway, is the way you can
Oh,
think of
really?
it. Yeah, it was going to be private, and then he decided not to build something at the top of it. So in the end, they decided, oh, what can we do? And they built the world's longest zip line at the top instead.
Really?
So the world's longest zip line is at the top of this, and other than that, there's a couple of restaurants, but that's it. It became a driving road. Yeah, we were very lucky to drive it when it was closed off, so we had the place of knowing there was nothing coming either way.
That's nice.
Yeah, really nice.
You know, it's doing this right now in the Lycan prototype, no less, is unreal because the internet in Western America is just like, it doesn't exist. It's a real car, maybe, duh. And we're just, that's what I meant about the overrun. You got to let off so much earlier. Do you have any thoughts or tips on that? I mean, you've been driving some turbo race cars.
Yeah, I mean,
probably more than me, I think.
I think I'll be able to give you a couple more tips. Once I've driven this a little bit, maybe after lunch, when we switch, and then I'll have a little go at this just to kind of get a feel for it. Because for that point exactly, is that we've done so much work with that car.
Right.
That when someone like yourself goes, no, actually, hang on a minute, I want to drive this one.
Right.
Obviously, you want to be able to give some advice on that. So you'll be giving me tips before lunch, and I'll be giving you some afterwards.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm so much more used to naturally aspirated power plants. My go-to car on the street is a 1990s Dodge Viper,
Okay.
which is rather different.
Yeah. On the way down, those three are my favourite of the whole mountain.
Oh, I believe it.
You can almost straight line it when it's clear.
We'll give the guy a little bit of
room. He's taking the racing line as well, isn't he?
Indeed. Well, I'll give him a bit of space and everybody else.
You'd think you'd have to be defending.
To a camper? just trying to be respectful of the car and everybody around and enjoy it.
Yeah.
If I was, if this is my home country and my own car, I might be a touch different. The gap from first to second is pretty large. Look at that. A hell of a hill climb, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm still pushing for. It's been a few years now, but I'm saying we need to close this down and make a hill climb out of it. Make it an annual event.
That would be bonkers. Can you imagine that in something truly fast? Oh my god.
I mean, it'd be like the Pikes Peak of their nation.
Oh, indeed.
But we've had, we did manage to close it off to do a Red Bull drift. They
Really?
closed the whole thing off. They did a Red Bull drift with 3 different cars. Adnam, a friend of mine, did an amazing video up here with a drone, racing drone, and him drifting. He almost tried to drift the whole mountain.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That is
Tires
incredible.
burnt out, couldn't do the whole thing.
Oh, I believe it. It's quite a long way.
Yeah, it's too long to do the whole thing. And too straight in some parts. He was having to just make his own corners up.
Oh, I believe it. Somewhere.
So yeah, there used to be no barriers here either, so you could really get the car close.
That's incredible. Pikes Peak's rather like that. Have you been there?
Yeah. No, I haven't been there, but I've just always wanted to. It's one of my dream events to go to. We almost actually went and entered a class with, you know, the BAC Mono?
Oh, yes.
That single seat thing. So we tried to enter a sub 2 litre class because we thought, oh, we'll kill it in that.
This car's performing well.
What do you think? It doesn't smell like carbon, and it doesn't smell like ceramic coating from the exhaust either, so...
I was wondering if this hydraulics was leading to the wing operations.
Going onto the bottom of the exhaust and then smoking, yeah.
Aha! I bet you this is what's smoking, because all the heat reflective material has fallen off down. So what my thought is right now, if we had any sort of little zip tie, I could attach to that and then hold it.
What we've done is we've found the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say congratulations, guys? You passed the first test.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's cooled down a bit. Should we just get it up there and then work on it? I think there's lunch just on the
Okay guys, so we just came out of lunch. I'm slightly warmer because I'm doing something. So we've got the Lycan here, and something we noticed on the way up when I was on it harder, we're making a lot of heat. And then when we stopped, there was a bit of smoke. So naturally with a prototype car and a car this valuable, and also it's my ride off this mountain back to, well, Dubai. So we need to make sure it's right. So come here and have a look at what we're doing. So obviously it's a prototype car. It's effectively a racing vehicle, and you guys are going to get to see, you rarely ever get to see this, but you can see the suspension, the beautiful pushrod suspension, the big trunnions here, all the beautiful machined and milled aluminum bulkheads, and then of course that incredible twin turbocharged flat 6 is buried in there. But come on back here. If you look into the screening here, you can see the muffler here in the middle, where it comes, and then your exhaust tips here. It's all very close to the composites and such. And just where you can see this muffler there was a heat shield. If that material gets too close to the heat source or touches it, it'll start burning the insulative material, not just the heat reflective. It'll burn through that. And then if the adhesive breaks down and goes away, it can fall down on the heat source, and then everything starts to fry. So we had some smoke, and that was why. The car had been painted to come back together, and it appears it was dislodged. So I noticed that it was askew. We were going to wire it, but there's enough space in here that I was able to just wiggle the heat shield out and then the other one. So that's why my hands are dirty. But I think it's going to be great. We've got enough airflow, so it's really not necessary. Yes, let's have some fun. Okay guys, so we brought the Lykan up here to the top of the Jebel Jay Mountains to this beautiful, beautiful restaurant. I'm absolutely captivated by the view. It's absolutely breathtaking. You can see it looks like a cloud factory. Just looking here at that sheer cliff, going beyond that. But we just had an amazing lunch. You can see the W Motors Lykan and Fenrir just over here. But just so wonderful to be here, to see everyone, and I'm as content as can be. And I don't think it's oxygen deprivation. I'm just quite happy. So we're gonna rip back down in the Lykan and then switch over for the Fenrir and do it again. Let's go. Okay, be nice to the car, be nice to the door. Prototype. What manufacturer rips around in prototypes?
This one, that's what I love about it. You
Yeah.
like them even more.
This is like old school.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it'd help if I had the key, wouldn't it?
Is it in your pocket?
Well, yeah, I got it right here.
Oh.
Again, I bring it up. Do you remember years ago when we were on a podcast and you said to me, oh, Casey, the car I really like is this hypercar. It's in the United Arab Emirates and it has diamonds in the headlights and a flat six. And I'm like, what is that? And here we are.
And here we are driving it.
Turning on the lights, making friends, driving in the clouds.
This guy is funny.
Racine? Yeah, he's the man. Right. You know what I think the best part of all this is, John?
What's that?
This is literally no different than everything I do with my friends back home.
Right?
Yeah.
Shut the door.
What is this particular guard post for
I
exactly?
have no idea.
I like how he's just hanging out at the back still.
Yes.
Oh no, he's getting back in. Okay. Everybody acts casual. Yes, there's the button. Look at this. It didn't. Oh, now it's closing. Okay.
Kind of still.
Okay. Okay. I genuinely think it's one of the coolest car companies there is.
Yes.
I feel like this would have been, maybe Lamborghini was this cool like 50 years ago, right? I'm trying to turn off my race driver brain a little bit. Well, it's definitely set up to understeer a bit, which is fine for this in the street. It's not, if I were going to track this and not drive it as a street car, I would, I don't know, I would either set a sway bar a little softer in the front or stiffer in the rear potentially, and slightly change some things with regard to the shocks. But it's really excellent as is, and it makes it easier to drive because it is a very fast car. But I don't want to push it to a certain point, because when you set up a car to be mindful like that on the street, understeer, that's when you can get yourself into some ugly situations.
Yeah.
Because when something happens, it happens bigger. That guy in the Toyota truck is trying to have fun. Hopefully the guy in the Toyota truck has good brakes and doesn't try to get us on the inside.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the things I always worry about the most with people, is that somebody does something really silly like that. Yeah, here we go. You gotta get off that throttle really early, otherwise it hangs like that. Yeah. Keep driving it like an Ashley Asbury car and it's not. You know, that drop from second to first is just too much.
Yeah.
You gotta lug it in second more. And if we were flowing more speeds through there, it'd be fine, but if we're doing what we're doing, I just gotta remember to just chill, leave it in second. I mean, we're carrying some speed here. I could have laid into it hard, but honestly, had I, you could get yourself in a world of trouble right here, especially with two cars coming downhill. But the car's doing brilliantly. Have you noticed there's nothing rattling or shaking about it whatsoever? Brakes are brilliant. The balance is good. It's cooling well. All the gauge readings are nominal, and they are in fact working because I've seen everything come up. Definitely not doing anything funny. Yeah, I'm really impressed. Even the prototype car is awesome. I mean, if this were my car and I was gonna keep it and drive it like all the time, I might just like tweak a few things. The brake pedal's rather high compared to the gas pedal, so toe healing, yeah, it takes a little bit more. This car is not slow. Hey John, how much does this feel like a Need for Speed video game right now?
It feels like that.
We need some really good techno going. Welcome to this episode of Casey Push's YouTube channel, where two lame white boys from the Midwest try to beatbox Eurobeat techno in a $3.4 million hypercar prototype, with following a nearly $2 million hypercar prototype with two race drivers, and we're still lame. Well guys, that was our day here at the Jebel Jay Mountains in the United Arab Emirates with the Lykan Hypersport prototype and the Fenrir Super Sport, the first one, the pre-production car, and just truly an incredible day. I mean, if you guys couldn't feel, I did just a short video when we were up at the restaurant at the top of the mountains with the clouds. I had a blanket on because it was chilly, having cappuccinos and a lovely lunch with interesting people from different places and new friends. That was a wondrous time. Honestly, just truly beautiful. That was the high point of my day. But the cars, that's what you guys want to know about. They're real. They're very, very, very fast, and they work very well. Otherwise, I would not have been ripping up mountain roads very, very, very far away from home if they weren't spectacular cars. And they did perfectly just sitting there and idling, so that, you know, turbos can equalize, let them cool. But what a great cars, you guys. I'm going to talk about them more, but the Lykan, raw personality, big power, 3 pedals. I like that. It's the old school, it's stick, it's exciting. The Fenrir, an amazing track car, lithe, athletic, just clawing at the ground delicately, razor edge with the steering. I love them both. They both have great personalities. They're both truly wonderful cars, and I hope you all realize, I know I'm going on about this, but this is very special. This is an automotive manufacturer, a new one, of course in an amazing place, amazing landscape, nice people, but when have you ever seen a prototype to a multi-million-dollar hypercar, the prototype, out on the streets being driven hard by a guy that's not part of the company? When? You don't, because I don't know of any car company that's as cool as this right now, so I'm very excited. So I hope this lets you guys know these are in fact real cars and exciting, but this isn't the last video. There's more to come. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, but John, look at this landscape. I'm out. Subscribe. Look around.
Look at how beautiful it is. I'll get out of the way.
You don't get that much beauty.
Keep looking.
Since 2013, the Genius Garage educational programs have been responsible for launching the careers of young engineers, mechanics, and fabricators. So this holiday season, consider checking out Genius Garage and its website, geniusgarageracing.com, and making a donation. Whether it's small or large, what we do together is how we shape a better future for everyone. Thanks for watching.